Thank you. Great crowd here. Great crowd here on camera. Great crowd here in the seats. So the big news today, of course, aside from the fact that, well, Pete has eaten all the Chips Ahoy for 420, is that the $20 bill has actually been replaced. Andrew Jackson, no longer on there. Harriet Tubman is now on the $20 bill. And now we can finally use the $20 in the subway to enter the Underground Railroad. Ba-dum-chum. Anyway, so I was in a relationship for 9 years, which is one of the craziest and terrible segues in all time. But anyway, I was thinking, when you're in a relationship, why don't you get anything out of it? I mean, when you're in this sort of thing of heartbreak. I mean, 9 years, that's longer than both world wars combined. That's longer than the extended run of The Walking Dead, which, a zombie metaphor seems to be the correct metric with which to compare a lifeless husk of a relationship. Why don't we get anything out of it? I mean, like, in 9 years, that's in... if you go to Dubai, and we all go to Dubai at one point in our life, the Burj Khalifa. This is the tallest building in the world. That took 8 years to actually create. So why? I mean, you would think that if you're in a relationship for 9 years, you would get something, but you don't, unless you get married and you actually can nail a divorce decree to the wall. But, the thing is, I wonder about this. We should celebrate, being in a 9-year relationship. And I have a solution. I think that once you are at the end of a relationship, you should go through a ceremonial process with your cap and gown, and then you can go ahead and just get rid of all the pain and all the heartbreak and all this terrible sort of feelings. So you can imagine the ceremony like this. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, God, no. Pomp and Circumstance was her favorite song. And then you can go out into the world and, and sort of, figure life out. So anyway, being in a relationship for such a long period of time, I entered, like Rip Van Winkle, into this new fascinating age of online dating, where there were dating apps, and suddenly it wasn't just a matter of meeting somebody in a bar, it was a matter of, judging someone on their aesthetic qualities in less than a second, which was a completely new paradigm for me. And, it brought out a whole bunch of other sort of strange anxieties. I mean, suddenly the faults that I was penalized for were actually endearing qualities, like, oh, I really love the way that you chew your food, and I really love the way that you clip your nails in bed. And these were things that were previously the subject of, like, long 30-minute rows, So it was interesting to kind of go into that transition. It was a good confidence booster. But, I had, like, my little problems. I mean, sometimes you will scroll through these dating apps and you will see that some women actually go ahead and like to photograph themselves with a friend, and you don't know who it is. Who is Rachel, the 31-year-old accountant from Jersey City? Is it her? Is it her? Is it both of them? I don't know. But you go ahead and you go ahead and try, and you see where things happen. It's been interesting, although it has, again, like I said, brought out a great deal of anxiety. It has allowed me to really, sometimes, texting, that did not seem to exist when I was dating initially. And, now it does. And so you text something and you text like, hey, I had a really lovely time. And then you don't get anything. And you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and oh my God, is she gonna text back? I don't know, and then you start to go into these sort of stages. Dude, what the hell's going on? She has not texted me back. I mean, you're doing everything to kind of deal with this, and then, waiting in general is a bad thing for me. I mean, lateness is a huge crutch. I mean, I think Mussolini may have actually had a good idea about making the trains run on time and actually penalizing people. And that's the thing. It's like, if I'm from California, and when you're sitting in a restaurant, when you're waiting for a table, it's actually, like, really low key. It's like people just go ahead and, like, hey, man, hey, yeah, come down. Yeah, all the breadsticks you want, all the water that you want. And then here in New York, it's a little bit different. It's like, Are you going to order an appetizer? Are you going to, we can't hold this table forever. But, I've managed to sort of survive. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to this. I mean, everyone is going on about searching for the one. And me, I'm happy to go ahead and settle for the 0.5. I mean, it's not the better half, but it is better than nothing. Thank you.